Okay, Chris Worden, director first. Thanks for watching the channel. We're going to dive into a topic that I think is overlooked quite a lot when it comes to insolvency, and it's the human side, you know. Let's dive into the real emotional impact and how we can navigate it together. So, first thing is actually understanding the emotional toil. The gravity of insolvency is not lost on me, not just in numbers, but in human terms. You know, job security fears, you know, financial fears of the director. Shit, if my business is over, what am I going to do? You know, uncertainty about the future, reputation, you know, just the weight of responsibilities. And I know that. And I know that because I've been there. I've been there and I've had to liquidate a business and I felt that the world was ending. You know, my pride was hurt. My ego was hurt. I felt like a failure. You know, it's tough for directors who are going through this. There's this, like, idea that everyone who liquidates his company is a con man. It's absolutely bullshit. You know, most of the people I speak to are having to take insolvency advice because they've not got paid. Or the market's changed. They just can't. The business model that worked before the cost of living crisis and the COVID pandemic just doesn't work today. You know, it's important that empathy's key. You've got to, business at the end of the day. It's not always about just profit and loss. It's about people. It's about families. It's about your staff. You know, I know that. When I had to liquidate my business, a lot of the staff were really worried at the time and they're thinking, oh God, what am I going to do? I've got bills to pay, I've got a mortgage to pay. And they was as worried as I was. And the reality is they all got it. They probably got better jobs, and they'll look back on it now and it was just a hiccup, If your staff are going to be left and made redundant, they will get the redundancy pay from the government. They'll get notice pay. They'll get holiday pay if they're due it. They'll get, even any unpaid wages. I think it's important that you keep open communication with staff and stakeholders, be transparent about the situation. And it's a tough one, really. I had a chat with a guy this week, and cracking bloke, had a business for many, many years, become insolvent just due to the current circumstances. And he didn't know whether to tell his lads. And the risk is if you tell people and, we're thinking of going insolvent, it might be, a month down the line and they leave. And this guy did it and he had a chat with him. And I spoke to him this morning and, everyone were really supportive about him. There was some tears from him and his staff. He was a good guy. It's just businesses changed and he can no longer sustain that business model. So I think being open with your staff is important. Hold regular Q&As with them to sort of address the concerns and, support the staff. Let them know early doors that there is entitlements that they're going to be able to claim. If they've been with you over 2 years, they're going to be able to get redundancy. As I say, notice pay, holiday pay, pro rata. Make sure that they're informed about their rights, their entitlements and redundancy packages. And if you don't understand what they're entitled to, speak to somebody like me. Any insolvency firm out there should help your staff navigate the redundancy as well. And another thing I want to talk about is the sort of mental health implications, certainly for the directors. I mean, like I say, I've been there and I remember it. I couldn't, in the day I was dead busy, I'm on the phone, I'm on the emails, I'm thinking things are going to turn around. But when I got home and my head was about to hit the pillow, my head went off like a pinball machine. Bang, 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 bang. And I wasn't eating well. I was probably drinking a bit more than I should have been. I was eating shit because, in the day I'd just stress. So I'd go and have a fry up and then a Mars bar and all these stuff really had a bad impact on me. And if you're a director out there that's suffering with a mental health because of business debts, go out there and talk to somebody. That there are organisations out there who can help you. Have mentors you can talk to, confide in your friends. Please don't stay in your own head. For me, that's where the problem is, between the ears. Sometimes just talking about a problem that I still have today in business, just verbalising what's going on in my mind can sometimes, it's always helpful, always very cathartic. So please talk to people, and even your staff. It's important to have open conversations about mental well-being. Now, Listen, when you owe suppliers, there are going to be suppliers that you've had for years and years. Some are going to be your friends. I think it's really important because these people, these suppliers, they've got their own staff. You know, they've got their own families. And try and engage in transparent discussions about payments, you know. And if payment isn't going to come, just try and let them know what's going on. You know, because I've had it so many times where a company's gone into liquidation, and a supplier has been, you know, it's owed some money, okay, and a lot of the time they don't want to work with you in the new company if you set up a new company. But let's say you've been a really good customer of this supplier for many, many, many years, they've made loads and loads of money out of you. Well, they still might support you in your new business. You know, sadly, insolvency, liquidation, it happens regularly. It's happening a lot more regularly now. But I just want you to understand there's a ripple effect that occurs when one business faces insolvency. You know, suppliers have got their staff that if they're not going to get paid, that has an impact on them. And if you can't pay your suppliers, I still think it's a good idea to have an open, transparent communication with them. Yeah, I think as a director, we've got duties, you know, we've got moral, we've got ethical duties to all involved. So speak to your staff, speak to your suppliers, but you know what, speak to a professional who can help you if you are looking at insolvency. You know, insolvency affects much more than just the balance sheet. It touches lives, hopes and dreams. And as you're navigating these choppy waters, and they are choppy waters because I've been them, let's remember the human side, offering support and understanding, you know. If you found this conversation meaningful, please like, share and subscribe for more insights. Chris Worden, Director First. Thank you.